Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well, and today we'll take a look at 3 best lenses for your Canon M50. So if you have a Canon M50 or you're planning to have one and you're still looking for which lens to buy, I'm filming. They don't need this. Those two are enough. Alright, we'll have to talk about that later, but please bring it back here. Alright, thank you. Anyway, let's just go to the lenses. So we've got here Sigma lenses, 16mm, 30mm, and of course 56mm, all of which have f1.4 aperture, which gives you that nice bokeh. What happened to you? And these lenses brings up your Canon M50 to a whole new level. And even if you use that f1.4 aperture, it still gives you a nice and sharp image. So I'm going to be comparing these 3 lenses against my Canon kit lens, the 15 to 45 millimeters, which I'm using right now, which comes with a Canon M50 when you buy it. So 16 millimeters against 16 equivalent in the kit lens, 30 against 30 equivalent in the kit lens, and probably this 56 millimeters against the 45 millimeters, just to have a comparison, because this kit lens can only go up until 45 millimeters. So we are filming at 24 frames per second and 1/50th of shutter speed. So let's start with the 16 millimeters against the 16 equivalent in the kit lens. So this is how it looks on kit lens. 16 millimeters, we're on f3.5 because that's the largest aperture you can get from this lens, and we're at ISO 400. So just take a look at it and we'll see the difference against the Sigma lens. So we are at kit lens, 16 millimeters, f3.5, and ISO 400. So let's see on the Sigma 16 millimeters, we are at f1.4 and ISO 100. So this is how it looks on Sigma 16 millimeters, f1.4, ISO 100. Just how different that looks. See the out of focus area in the background? It really makes a difference. You've got that nice and sharp image even if you are in f1.4. Now let's go on to the 56 against the 45 of the kit lens. So this is how it looks on kit lens. We're at 45 millimeters f6.3 aperture because that's the largest aperture you can get from this focal length from this kit lens. We are at ISO 400. So you can still see the details on the background. It doesn't give you much of that bokeh. And this is how it looks on Sigma 56 millimeters f1.4. We're at ISO 100. Look at that bokeh. Look at that out of focus background. It's really nice. Now let's compare the 30 millimeters against the kit lens. So we are at 30 millimeters on the kit lens, f5.0, and ISO 400. So we are on kit lens, 30 millimeters, f5.0, and ISO 400. Now let's compare it against the Sigma 30 millimeters. We're at f1.4 on Sigma, ISO 100. So this is how it looks on Sigma 30 millimeters, f1.4, ISO 100. Let's see them side by side. So 16 millimeters on the Sigma against Canon kit lens. Now let's take a look at the 30 millimeters Sigma against Canon kit lens. And lastly, let's compare 56 millimeters on Sigma and 45 millimeters on Canon kit lens. So tell me, why did you say that they don't need the 30 millimeters and these two are enough? Yeah, so my point is that they might be only looking for vlogging setup with the 16mm and B-roll for the 56mm, and you can even accomplish what this lens can give you using the 56mm. Yeah, so okay, you have a point. Alright, let's talk about that now. So if you're looking for a lens only for vlogging, then this is perfect for you. But if you're also looking for close-up shots, for B-rolls, then this is also perfect for you. However, I'm also using these 30 millimeters when I'm filming my music cover videos because it just gives you that perfect cinematic field of view. So I love the effect that this focal length gives you, the 30 millimeters. So if you're not into something like that, if you're only looking for vlogging and for close-up shots, for B-rolls, for that bokeh, and then I recommend only these two lenses for you. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of these lenses. Let's go with pros. First, these lenses will give you nice and sharp image and footage. Even if you open up that aperture to 1.4, you can still have a nice and sharp image and footage. Second is that these lenses, because of that f1.4 aperture, that large aperture, these lenses are useful in low light situation. You can have that nice bokeh in the background. Third is that these lenses have autofocus, which is perfectly working with Canon M50 and sometimes even better than Canon native lenses. Let's go with the cons. First is that f1.4 aperture, sometimes it's not enough. Yeah, even if you open up that large aperture 1.4, you might want to consider compensating with it with some lighting. You have to provide your own lighting. Second is that these lenses doesn't have image stabilization, so you also want to consider buying gimbal with it. And sometimes even if you use a gimbal with this 56 millimeters, you might still see some shake in the footage, but you can edit that in the post, so not a problem. So yeah, that's pretty much it. These lenses has been with me for a year, but I'm only using them for 6 months, and I haven't had any problem with the autofocus. It's perfectly working, and it always gives me nice bokeh on the background whenever I use any of these lenses. I'm always using that f1.4 and using ND filter, so just to make sure that I can dial in whatever settings in the camera I want to use. So that's it for today. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button so you would always be updated on my next videos. See you next time. God bless.